Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for watching. This is a video showing a few recent acquisitions I got of some ancient Roman coins. Pretty large number of denarius and then a few bronze coins as well. And I think these are all from the Empire, but a few different emperors and empresses included. I'm going to be posting some pictures of individual coins, some of the more valuable or notable ones throughout this video, but otherwise I'll just show the coins within the video. Here we have a Fulvia Plautilla. She was the wife of Caracalla. There's not a ton of history or info on her online, but she was killed for treason, or her father's treason, during the reign of Septimius Severus. And her father was the leader of the Praetorian Guard and a close ally of Septimius, but he ended up plotting against him. Here we have two Getas in the bottom, and then an Elagabalus. Geta was the brother of Caracalla, who Caracalla murdered shortly after their father died. He was emperor for only 2 years before he was murdered by his brother. And then Elagabalus is a pretty interesting guy. He reigned from 218 to 222. And he tried to bring the worship of his god to Rome. He came from Syria, and he worshipped this god called El Jabal, which is basically a meteorite, a black meteorite that was intended to represent the sun. And he paraded this meteorite through the streets of Rome on a regular basis, and he's also apparently like very promiscuous sexually, both men and women. And because of his weird religion and probably the sex stuff, he ended up getting assassinated by the Praetorian Guard at age 22. Then his cousin succeeded. And here's a Maximinus Thrax, or Maximinus I. His coins are usually very well struck, and they're very affordable too, so highly recommend if you're looking for a cheaper denarius. And the cool thing that Heritage does, which is where I got these coins, is they include the actual original flips that the coins came in, so you can kind of see what the previous owners identified about the coins, where they maybe acquired them from, like the original auction house. Here's just a basic Gordian III, nothing too exciting. I didn't take a picture of that one. Gordians are typically like the cheapest and most readily available of all the denarius. And I think they were really the last denarius produced in any mass quantities by any emperor. And shortly after, the Antoninianus, or the double denarius, kind of replaced them. Here's a really nice Caracalla. This one has some great detail on the obverse side. Just look at the curls in his hair and how well detailed those are. That mean expression on his face. For most of Caracalla's coins, or many of his denarius coins, he has this very kind of mean scowl, tough guy scowl on his face, which was intentional because he kind of modeled himself as a soldier / emperor, and he spent most of his time touring the empire with his soldiers, with the Roman army. Here we have an Antoninianus. Tough word to say and a tough word to write. I have to type that out a lot. It's called an Antoninianus because it was minted during the reign of Caracalla, whose official name is actually Marcus Antoninus. And it's the double denarius. This is a really nice one of Philip the First, aka Philip the Arab, called that because he was the first emperor of Arabic descent. Looks like there is almost some luster on that coin, which is pretty cool. Here's another Philip the First. Oh, this one's pretty nice too. A little bit smaller, looks like it's maybe been clipped around the edges. That wasn't uncommon for Denarius and Antoninianus coins. People would actually clip the edges of the coins just to keep some silver for themselves, which was illegal, but widely done. And so some of these ancient silver coins you'll find are pretty small around the edges, or they don't even show the full design on them. In some cases, it's just that the flan itself was originally small, so there wasn't any clipping, but in some cases you can definitely tell that somebody got up to some clipping. And NGC and other third-party authenticators will actually indicate that in the coin or filing. I love the color on this one. This is another, I didn't see what that flip said, but it's either Philip or Philip II. He struck his own face on some of the coins of his son as well. But just a lovely patina on this one. And I'm actually, so this is an older auction win, I think from a few weeks back. I actually sold that coin already, which I'm kind of kicking myself for just because I love the color on it. I think I'd like to have that one back and probably keep it for my personal collection if I had to do it all over again. Here's another one with a darker patina. This is a Trebonianus Gallus, another tough name to pronounce. He was a soldier emperor during the crisis of the 3rd century, this period of time, about 50 years, where the average emperor lasted maybe 1 or 2 years. They just kept getting killed by their soldiers, and new emperors rebelled and declared themselves emperor. And Trebonianus Gallus was one of those guys. I think he lasted only a couple years before he died as emperor. Another Philip. You can see that one was originally bought in 1988. Probably some older gentleman consigning his collection to heritage. A little bit of nice multicolored toning on this one. Double denarius coins, or Antoninianus coins, are nice because they're a little bit cheaper than denarius coins. They're of lower silver purity. By the time they started being produced, the Roman economy wasn't doing too hot, so they ended up producing them in like 50% alloy or even less. So they're a little bit more affordable than denarius coins, but they often are struck very well and have a great level of detail, as you can see here. It's not uncommon for the reverse side to be a little bit fuzzy. Oftentimes they would keep the dies going for the reverse side like way longer than they should. So by near the end of the die's like lifetime, so to speak, they'd be pretty worn, pretty heavily worn, so they wouldn't be able to bring out a ton of detail on the reverse side. But generally the obverse side is struck a little bit better on average. Here's another empress. This is a Julia Maesa. Julia Maesa was in the Severan family, and she was the sister-in-law of Septimius Severus. And the sister of Septimius's wife. And then she was also the grandmother of the emperors Elagabalus and Severus Alexander. And she was a pretty powerful woman. After the assassination of her nephew, Caracalla, and the usurpation of the throne by Maximinus, she rallied the eastern legions around her grandson Elagabalus. She claimed that he was the bastard son of Caracalla, who he probably actually wasn't, but he did look a lot like Caracalla. And she succeeded in getting enough support from the army that she was able to defeat Maximinus and win the throne for Elagabalus. And here we have some more Antoniniani, the plural of Antoninianus. I got Gordian, couple Philips there. Gordians and Philips are the most affordable of the double Denarius. Gordon's even a little bit more so than Philip. And both of them are usually pretty well struck. They're also towards the start of the double Denarius, when the silver content was a little bit higher. As you get later into the 200s, the silver content drops very low until eventually it becomes nothing more than a coating of silver over like an entirely bronze coin. But in the 240s, 250s, it's still about 40 to 50% silver, so still has that nice silver appearance. Some more here. Pretty nicely struck. Here's one of an empress. This is, I think it's like Herenia Etricilla. And they're nice sized coins too. Each one is roughly about, probably about nickel size. They range from, I think, 20 to 23-ish millimeters in diameter. So that's about penny to slightly smaller than a quarter size. And a pretty nice weight as well. And here we have some even bigger coins. These are some Sestertii, plural of Sestertius. I think these are both Gordians actually. This is the first Gordian, Gordian III. Just see how thick that flan is. That's really cool to hold these guys. And then another Gordian III. These ones are both around, I think, 27 millimeters or so. Earlier in the empire, the Sestertius was actually even a larger coin, but there is a fair amount of variability in terms of the diameter of the coins as well as the weight. But these ones, I think, weigh somewhere in the vicinity of 20 grams or so, maybe 17 grams, which is pretty heavy. By comparison, a modern nickel, weighs 5 grams. So you could think of it as being 3 or 4 nickels worth. And some more Antoninianus coins. I'm continually buying these guys. A lot of demand for them. And I think it's because of the affordability, and also the size. It's a nice big size, really nice portraits on the emperors, and not too expensive. A few more Denarius coins. Here's a Caracalla. Another Caracalla. it could be an Elagabalus. This one I think is actually a 4A, or a contemporary counterfeit. You can see the core of the coin is exposed there in both the obverse and the reverse side. So it's silver plated. It's not actually a solid silver coin or silver alloy coin. Silver plated on some type of base metal, most often bronze. Another Caracalla. Yet another Caracalla. And here's the money shot. Everything in one handful. I like to do this sometime, just pile up all my coins into a single hand and really feel the weight of them. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Appreciate it.